The final Raw of perhaps the most newsworthy game-changing year in industry history opened with the Miami arena exploding as Rock kicked off the show in front of the hometown crowd to one of the biggest ovations of the year, coming out in his old number 94 Miami Hurricanes jersey, hyping up the building to massive pops from the over 12,000 sold-out crowd in Miami last Friday night, with the show due to coming on Christmas Eve being taped 3 days in advance, with SmackDown of this Thursday shot the following day on Saturday to give the crew a rare week off in the holiday season, as Rock scheduled for an undisputed title match against Chris Jericho in the main event later tonight, had a special message for Jericho reading from a book titled The Rock's Night Before Christmas, poetically running down Jericho to bring out Kurt Angle for the interruption, announcing Vince McMahon giving him a special Christmas present to add him to the match tonight to make it a three-way for the title, setting up Rock vs Angle vs Jericho in the final Raw match of the year, with next Monday set to feature a 3-hour Best of the WWF 2001 Viewers' Choice special, set to be a rare 3-hour TV broadcast on New Year's Eve between 9 to 12 a.m. featuring viewers voting on the company website on 10 of the top matches of the year shown for the first time on television, combined with highlights from the most memorable segments and promos throughout 2001. With the company after 3 weeks off, with the last live broadcast taking place on December 17th, set to return to the regular schedule on Monday nights starting on January 7th with the mega hype draw show from Madison Square Garden. Raw's show-long angle on the special night saw Vince McMahon and Ric Flair both having Christmas parties for the babyface and heel groups, with the planned split of the company to two brands headed by Flair and McMahon, which as recently as 2 weeks ago was targeted for the January 7th Raw, pushed back again despite Linda McMahon publicly naming the date for the brand split, with Vince eventually deciding to get through the build-up to the Rumble pay-per-view with the first Flair vs McMahon match before starting the build for the split, and with several of the biggest names in the business about to be free agents in just a matter of days on January 1st, with talks between Nash and the WWF escalating in the past several days. One of the most notable mentions from the Flair-McMahon parties saw Big Show doing a Hulk Hogan impersonation, as with The Undertaker also bringing up his name a few weeks back when listing McMahon's top guys since taking over the company in the 80s. After years of not bringing him up or downplaying his legacy during the peak of the WCW-WWF promotional war, Hogan's name being openly mentioned started to bring questions on a potential return. And with largely no new updates on his future after spontaneously working a surprise match against Curt Hennig at the XWF tapings last month, Hogan made headlines during the week, appearing on ESPN's unscripted talk show for an interview, and all but confirmed him targeting another WWF run in the near future, putting over Rock and Triple H big while targeting programs against both in Austin, with him praising McMahon throughout the interview, saying that the one thing that would guarantee him making a WWF return being a Hogan vs McMahon match, a match Hogan has been targeting and talking about even when under WCW contract in the past 3 years, saying that he worked his recent XWF match against Hennig practically for free as he missed the business, and watching Flair's TV return and the crowd reaction to it made him miss it even more, with Hogan's longtime rival Randy Savage also making news, with him agreeing a deal with the World Wrestling All-Stars promotion to appear as the top name attraction on their debut pay-per-view on February 24th, set to make his wrestling return for the first time since a one-time appearance on Thunder in April 2000. With the unusual show on the night, Raw opened its second hour in an unusual way with a backstage segment and the continuation of the Vince party, seeing the TV return of Stephanie McMahon for the first time since being written off TV, along with Shane and Heyman, with the end of the Invasion storyline on November 19th. Bringing questions on the future direction of the Hunter-Stephanie angle, with Triple H's return 2 weeks away, with him being portrayed as a babyface in all the promotion for the show. And with the Hunter comeback on the January 7th Raw continuing to get massive hype from the company, on par with any return in history, with the commercials and video packages set to run for a full month on January 7th since debuting at the Vengeance pay-per-view on December 9th. Hunter, who is set to have massive pressure on his first night back to draw a huge number to justify the 4-week promotion, and especially after the all-time record viewership spike Rock drew on his return in July, with just 4 days of hype after his return was officially confirmed on the Thursday before Raw on July 30th, getting some positive indications on the way, with his guest appearance on Mad TV on December 12th ending up drawing the show's highest rating of the season, doing a 3.8 rating with an almost 20% increase on the season average of 3.2, with the WWF itself while in a transitional period during the holiday season like all other first-run shows on television, with no real sign of a developing pattern until the return to the regular TV and road schedule in January. Also getting positive ratings news during the week, with SmackDown last Thursday headlined by the blow-off matches of the 2 TV programs of Rock vs. Test and Austin vs. Booker, picking back up to a 3.8 rating with 6.8 million viewers, peaking with a 4 rating in the second hour for both headline matches, which also saw the TV return of Big Bossman to join McMahon's protection against Austin and cost him the match, with Raw's second hour before the 3-way main event seeing a Christmas special with a Santa McMahon vs. Santa Flair match, followed by the payoff of the parties, with Steve Austin going into Vince's party to take him out along with Patterson and Briscoe in a comedic brawl. The entrances for the Rock Angle Jericho 3-way main event title match took place at 10:44 p.m. with the company on a holiday week, with a taped show on a rare occasion since starting it regularly during the peak of the Monday Night Wars to counter Nitro's boosted unopposed audience, not crossing over past the top of the hour, with the show ending exactly at 11 p.m. seeing Rock Angle and Jericho going all out for 13 minutes to put on a pay-per-view headliner performance in the final main event of the year, with the company while taking the expected holiday hit on Christmas Eve with less television viewers in general on the night, holding up strong with the percentage of the people watching, with the share of the Raw broadcast higher than last Monday, with the Rock vs. Jericho vs. Angle main event peaking higher than most of the segments on the regular Raw show of last week, with viewers per home increasing on the night, as Raw for the full 2 hours averaging a 7 share, with the second hour jumping significantly to a 3.5 rating with over 4.6 million viewers, closing the show with a 3-way match peaking with over 5.7 million viewers in the final Raw match of the year, ending up with Rock having the match won before Jericho took out the ref, with Jericho again pinning Rock after an Angle DDT on the chair, continuing Rock's almost personal project of elevating Jericho into the top tier of main event players with another high-profile job following their last 2 pay-per-view matches, and with Raw next Monday set to feature the Best of 2001 recap show on New Year's Eve on a transitional week. All eyes are now set on the massive 5 days of TV tapings starting on January 3rd for the first live broadcast of the new year, with SmackDown on Thursday followed by one of the most promoted Raw shows of the past year, with the Triple H return from MSG on January 7th.